What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 10. I can't believe we've done 10 episodes already. And without you guys listening and supporting us, we wouldn't be doing this. We are grateful for you. As always, my name is Dan. Like I said, this is episode 10 of Motor Time with the Motor Misfits riding group. As always, I am joined with Mr. Craig. How are you today, sir?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. We had a little bit of a cold spell here in southern Indiana, so it's the temperatures have dropped a little bit. So
I got you.
hooded
Well,
sweatshirt weather.
yeah, well, you know what? All it means is that this weather is on this roller coaster of ups and downs and hots and colds and everything like that. But with the warmer weather, it means that you're going to start seeing a lot more of us that ride motorcycles on the road. And I think that this should be a really good episode to start talking about, you know, not only for riders to be seen, but also for people that are in cars that have protection around them to also see motorcyclists, because a lot of the accidents that happen are I would say, I don't know the statistics and I don't want to be quoted, but I would say that it's kind of motorcycle error, but it's also a lot of times people in cars not paying attention, whether they're on their cell phone or putzing with the navigation with all this technology that they have in the cars. But you and I both can. I mean, it's sad, but I can count on multiple hands of how many people that I've ridden with that have perished from an accident or have gotten hurt, from not paying attention or a careless driver not paying attention. So
Yeah,
you know,
you're exactly right, and a lot of it is just like you said. I'm not going to say everybody, but most of the people who ride a motorcycle or some sort of bike, they drive a car too. So this is for everybody. I mean, everybody needs to kind of know, hey, this is what you should be doing. This is how it works, because some of the worst the worst car drivers are the ones that are on bikes the next day. They're they're not paying
right,
attention. Oh,
right.
it's not me. I'm not out on my bike, so I don't have to pay attention. And that's not the case. I mean, you got to pay attention all the time.
Oh, absolutely. I know. I've been riding, let's say 10 plus years now. I mean, maybe a little bit more. But, one thing, I have a 9-year-old daughter, but at a very young age, instead of, do you remember that game, Oh, Slug Bug, where you saw a
Yeah.
beetle, you
Yep.
would, whatever. At a very young age, I would have my daughter say, you know, hey, look, there's a motorcycle, and she would point it out, or and whatnot. I think that a lot of people need to start young and say, hey, these people that are on bikes, they have no protection. You hit a car, hits a bike, it's not it doesn't end well, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but if that's why we have people like, oh, it's such a loud bike. That's why we have loud exhausts, or that's why we have loud radios, and that's why we're at intersections and we're revving our motors. We're not doing it to be cool. Well,
Yes
sometimes,
and no.
but we're not doing it to be cool. We're doing it so people know, hey, I'm on your left, or hey, I'm on your right. But also, you can't get upset that if you come into my lane, I'm gonna let you have it. I'm not. I mean, there's been instances where sometimes, and I don't condone this, but you may lose a mirror. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you're not going to try to. I have somebody I need to go home with. Craig needs to have somebody that he needs to go home to. You know, we all have somebody that relies on us, and I don't want to harp on this, but this episode is to say, hey, start opening your eyes and start, looking at the big picture. You know,
Yeah,
um, it's know
some
your
of the things
surroundings.
that it's some of the things that people don't realize. The cell phones. They're great. You can use them for so many things. But in the car, when you're looking at your phone, it takes a split second for you looking at your phone in the car to not see a motorcycle or not see another car, or thinking, oh, this car's going straight, and then all of a sudden they hit their brakes, and you're rear-ending them. Or this bike is turning and you don't see it because you're on your phone. So that's a huge one. Everybody's so connected and everything. And both of us have phone holders on our bikes, and we use it for navigation and songs and music and taking pictures and things. But just stay vigilant of what's out there, and don't get distracted by all of the technology that you've got. And I've realized real quick this year, in just the few short rides that I've taken, I'm messing with my phone, to turn a GoPro on or to go live, or something like that, and that's taken away from me paying attention to the road. So very quickly I realized, hey, I'm not doing this, in the middle of town. When we're going down a highway, or something like that, where I've got a quarter of a mile between me and another car. That's when the time to do it is.
Right. And a lot of times, we're not consistently doing it, but, to kind of piggyback that on that, Craig, it's not like we're sitting there putzing with our phone or whatever. It's something that we want to turn on real quick. And, when we are on our motorcycles, I will say we know what we can and cannot do before it becomes an unsafe thing.
Right.
I'm a creature of habit. I use my phone not only for, when we ride on bikes or whatever, but I have a lot of work stuff that I do. So I'm consistently trying to answer a phone call or answer an email. And I'm a creature of habit. I need to do less of on the phone and more of, hey, it can wait until the end, because again, I can't preach something if I'm not going to go ahead and abide by that. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
but you are correct. I mean, we do have a tendency to putz around with our technology a little bit too much when we're not there. And going into that, I mean, us as riders, that's a good transition. We need to do better as well. So we can't, we're on all these Facebook groups. Oh, another bike went down. Oh, it was probably because they were driving like idiots or whatever. There are a select percentage of bikers, that may drive or fly a little bit faster than others, especially when you got a crotch rocket that's 400 pounds and it can go 180, and
Yeah.
they're weaving in and out. Um, but us as riders, to be seen, wear bright colors. I mean, our logo is as probably as bright as you could possibly get it. But you can be able to be seen with it on.
Yeah.
We have a tendency to wear a lot of black as it's just the kind of the biker color, I guess. But it doesn't mean that we can't throw yellow into it, or wear yellow gloves or something. I know you have a bright orange helmet, which can be seen quite a bit.
Yeah.
Another product that I carry on me, especially if I get off my bike. This is by the Guardian Angel. I know we talked about this, but it is a full strobe light that if I need to, get off my bike because somebody else needs some sort of assistance, or I can put this down on the ground. This can be seen up, I believe, 2 miles, a
Yeah.
mile or
Something like
something.
that.
There's something crazy, but I mean, this is another product just to be seen. It's just a magnet. Magnets right onto my vest. I know you have a couple of them.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and that
you know,
that that's a great segue right there. I'm at fault for this one, so I'm going to take the blame. You're the opposite of me. The back of Dan's bike lights up like a Christmas tree. When he hits the brakes, you got 5,800 lights back there that go off, and you can really see him from the back. Mine, on the other hand, when you see the back of my bike, I've got two little bullet lights, and my license plate lights up. So you've got to be able to be seen, and the Guardian Angel does a great job of that. My lights on the back, when it's dark, you can see it no problem. When it's light, it's a whole different thing. Dan has complained about, hey, I can't see when you're on the brakes. Well, that may be because I am or am not on the brakes, but it's one of
Right,
those
but
that you,
again, when it's sunny, when it's super sunny, and I'm not trying to
yeah,
harp on your bike, at all, but when it's super sunny, I can't tell if
yeah,
you're,
and
and I get the style and I get the look you're trying to get, and I know we've talked, and I know you've looked into it, but you're looking for something more streamlined, is even just putting the ones like I have underneath my bag lids,
yeah, yeah.
just that somewhat can blend into the bike. But again, that's all preference and stuff. But that
And,
also gets to
and
know, and I'm not trying.
no,
Go ahead.
and you're exactly right. It's all personal preference, and when you do something, you're like, oh, that's going to be super cool, and then you realize that, oh, I just got rid of like half my lights back here. Like I went from three great big lights back there to two that are the size of a quarter. So it's one of those. You do it, and then you're like, oh, well, that really didn't help me be seen at all. That actually took away from me being seen. So then you have to find
Yeah.
other ways to be seen. I've got a huge orange sticker on the back bag. It looks cool, like it's the Road Glide emblem back there with the Harley, but it sticks out. When you're looking at the road, hey, orange isn't a color that you see a whole lot on the road. Signs are yellow, signs are red, but when you see something orange, that's really going to jump out. So I may not have a whole bunch of lights back there, but then this big orange sticker, you kind of jumps out at you. You see it. So kind of six one way, half a dozen the other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when what I was saying about your lights and stuff, a lot of times it's either you or me that are leading the pack whenever we're riding. So we know each other's mannerisms as far as when you're riding. And that's another thing too, is, for biker safety, is know the way that your people ride, that you ride with.
Yeah.
Because we all have groups that, like, I can roll with you and we could be going, 70, 80 miles an hour down the highway. And I know that if I need to get over quickly, you're already in that other lane waiting for me. Um, but if you're going to start riding, definitely always go out with a buddy or whatnot. It's always better to have two bikes rather than one, but also do some test rides with them. Go up and down, a main street and do some I would say, I don't want to say training, but change lanes,
Yeah.
speed up, slingshot forward, whatever. And that way, when the riding season gets here in full fledged, you know your escape routes, you know who's to your left and who's your right and who's holding traffic and who's not.
Yeah, and that's the thing, know who you're riding with, because that makes a huge difference about how you're seen. If you're riding with your buddy and there's a quarter mile between you, they don't see two bikes; they see maybe one. Where if
Hmm.
you're riding closer together, everybody thinks, oh, bikes ride really close together, and they do it just to, so that they can fit more people in an area. That's not the case. You can see a big group of bikes way easier than you can see one. Because you've got multiple headlights coming at you, you've got multiple brake lights, you got multiple turn signals. So it's more you're being able to be seen. But in order to be able to ride close to someone like that and be able to, stay in that proximity where it looks like one item coming at you, you've got to know what those people are going to do. And the only way to do that is to ride with people a lot, or talk about it before you go. And that's something that we do a pretty good job of before. Hey, we're going here, here's where we're going to stop, this is what we're doing. So it's not a surprise, oh, we're going to make a
What
left-hand
speed
corner
limit?
here.
What speed limit is everybody
Yeah.
comfortable? What speed limit is everybody comfortable at? If we do have a follow vehicle or so forth, say, hey, this is where we're at. If we lose you, it's an unwritten rule. Hey, we're going to get in the right lane. We're going to drop down maybe 5 under the speed limit, maybe go the speed limit, whatever's safe for us to do. If we're on the highway and we have to, we'll find an overpass or something that will pull up underneath, or pull over on the side of the road. That's the safest area for us to do so. But that's all about pre-trip planning and everybody knowing the plan and whatnot. That way, there's nobody that gets upset. Um, where you got 20 people ahead of you, and you're holding 40 people behind you on a group ride, or you're leading the group, and the fifth, sixth guy says, "Yeah, I'm not going to go the speed limit. Let's just kick it into sixth gear and we'll just go 40, and when the speed limit's 70."
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
which we've all dealt with that. And then, and again, if you're not going to hurt my feelings, and I'm certainly not going to be losing sleep over it, if you say, hey, I don't want to ride with you because your skill level may be a lot more advanced than mine, or vice versa. There's no wrong for you saying, hey, I can't keep up with you guys. You know how fast or how safe you want to be. And I'm not saying we're driving around crazy, but you have to grow up. I say this nicely. You have to grow a pair and tell somebody saying, "Hey, I'll meet you guys at the place. Don't
yeah.
wait up for me, but don't because
I
if
can't
you
run
slow
40
up,
miles
you're
an hour
putting
through
everybody
these
else in.
curves. Yeah, I can't run
You're
40 through these
you
curves. I feel safe, running 20 through them, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if you tell somebody that, they're going to be fine with it most of the time. If Dan tells me, hey, I can roll these corners at 40, and I'm like, no, I can't. I got to do them at 20, 25. It's one of those that as long as you communicate it, it's not an issue. Uh,
yeah.
that's one of those. One of the big things that I want to talk about is at stoplights or stop signs when you've got a big group of bikes and cars all kind of intermixed together. A lot of times the bikes are together. They come up to the stop sign. There may be 6 bikes together. Well, they're going as one car. So when the first one goes, all 6 of them are going to go. And a lot of cars don't realize that. They think, oh, well, the first bike's going to go and the second bike's going to sit. So then they start across. Well, when all 6 of them go, that's a bigger group going through. So you've got to realize that. And that's one of the things that a lot of people in cars don't realize when bikes pull up to stop signs or stoplights or whatever. They're looking as a group. They're one car or one individual thing going through the stoplight. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've gotten into that before.
That's a great piece.
We've gotten into it before. It's really happened up by you in cities, and stuff, and people think, oh, the first bike's there, and the first bike goes, and the second bike's already going too, and the third bike's going, and the fourth bike's going, and they're all going, and then a car tries to turn, right in front of the bikes or in between and cut the group in half, or stuff like that, and it's one of those that when you're in a car and you don't ride, you don't realize that, hey, all these bikes are together. They're all going to the same place. They're all, so it makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. That's there's a lot of things that the biker community does, and they don't just do it just to, oh, we can be cool. Like, they're doing a lot of times for safety. It's safer for us to go through an intersection as a group. When you see some of these charity rides that are escorted, or you see somebody out on, stopping traffic, it's to protect them, but also to protect the people in the car. I mean, you don't know when the last bike's going to come through and whatnot. And every time that I'll go through an intersection, I wave to the cars. It's not like I'm giving them a bird or anything like that. It's all safety when it's all comes down to it. But I mean, that's the big thing about this entire episode is just be on the lookout for motorcycles. I don't want to be like the advertisements, watch for motorcycles, but watch for motorcycles. You don't know, where we're coming from or whatnot as far as, direction until it's too late. So check your mirrors. If you hear something loud, you know that it's a fire truck or a big old truck with an exhaust on it. It catches your eyes. And that's what you need to do on a motorcycle is when you see a motorcycle, start porting it out. Oh, that's a motorcycle, or, oh, whatever. Get your mind set ready for the riding season. That's what I would say. Get your mind right.
You're exactly right. Riding season is just around the corner, and you're going to start seeing more and more bikes. More and more people are buying them. More and more people are on them. And nothing against the training that you get to start riding a bike, but in Indiana at least, in order to ride a bike on the road, you have to pass a 20-question quiz, and then you can ride a bike on the road. That's your learner's permit. So you get some people out there who have passed the test but don't really have any riding experience. Well, that makes a huge difference. And you're going to see people like that out on the road. That's how I started. I passed my permit test and took my bike out and rode it on the road. Was that the safest thing to do? Probably not. But you've got to get experience somehow. So that's what a lot of people do. And if cars aren't watching, trucks aren't watching, semis aren't watching, it's gonna end bad for a lot of bikers.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I think that's a good place to end it here. I think at the end of this whole thing is know your bike, know yourself, know your surrounding if you're in a car, because we all drive cars. It's not like a bike is our only means of transportation. And start changing our habits a little bit when it put down the cell phone a little bit or use it less. But yeah, I mean that would be the big thing. And I'm gonna start off with the thing
There we
to
go.
leave people with.
You always ask
Okay?
me. I think you should start this time.
I
for
always
sure.
ask you, but I'm gonna start it off. Um, last week we talked about change, and this week I would say be um, acceptance, if that makes any sense. If that makes any sense, accept. The I don't know how to. I know I'm going to ramble here, but accept that change. A lot of times we're not open to it, but you have to be an acceptance of the change. Just like our riding habits. Now if you have to change it, be acceptive of that change, whether it be a different bike, a different option, or something that you may or may not like on a bike. Be acceptance of it, be acceptable. I guess I don't know. You kind of understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
am
for
I just
sure.
rambling here?
No, accept
So,
the changes that are out there on stuff. If somebody wants to
yeah,
change something or you want to change something, accept it. It may be for the best, it may not, but when you do it, you can always change it to something else if you don't like what it is.
exactly. Keep moving forward. So,
Yeah.
as
So
always, Craig, I appreciate it. I can't believe we got 10 episodes in, but we got tons more of content coming up, and we appreciate everybody that's following and liking. And make sure to hit that alert button so you know when we're going to post new stuff. Be on the lookout for Facebook Lives. We're going to go a lot more of those in the next coming weeks. But we love all of our followers, and I hope you guys have a great day.
yeah. So we'll see you guys next Tuesday.